JazzCast Pros.
Relationship 101, I would say, acknowledge the fact that you have value and that you're worthy of someone, but it starts with you. My fathers, we've been through this conversation before, but I just want to get a little more in depth in it because it's happening a lot right now. We have a lot of youths out here who are in relationships, and I ain't talking about just the intimacy, but in the relationship with each other and don't know how to handle it. I'm talking about general, basic relationship, conversation, communication, if you will. Where are the men? Where are the fathers that's helping with this life lesson to say, this is how you communicate. This is how you express yourself. And when this happened, this is what you can do. We don't have enough of that. All we have is, yeah, son, you know what I mean? I did that before, but no one gives the conclusion or the lesson. It's always glamorified. Everything looks sweet and look nice until it's your turn. You got people out here really struggling with having or being in a relationship. And I'm talking about with themselves alone, much less anyone else. Greetings and welcome to Fatha Torch, the podcast to help you, the new and renewed fathers, cope with the anxiety and stress of fatherhood so that you can be the daddy you wish you had. I am your host, Ra, founder and builder of ABIMILECHH Foundation, an artist, a father of 9. This today episode is dedicated to all my fathers and all my brothers and all my sons that I want to express, illustrate, utterly tell the truth about relationships. And oftentimes we have a warped conversation about what that means. It comes in very varieties of different things, and it can be many things. But the relationship with yourself and the creator of life is very important, and you should be unique. However, we often live in society that does not promote enough information or incite the lesson of dealing with relationships. It involves emotional intelligence. It involves knowing yourself. It involves mastering your thought. It involves the value or worth of what you think or what you are. So let's get into it. I'd like to thank you for coming in to listening. And I know you can be many places and you can be anywhere, but you're here with me and I am grateful. May God bless you and guide you throughout your day. And let's get into it. Truth and facts about relationships. That it starts with you. Unfortunately, we live in a world that deals with divide, capitalism, racism, or constructive racism, and redlining. We deal with a lot of dividing, right? A lot of dividing factors. And you will never get a true truth because depending how you grow, raise, and the environment in which you're in, it can be either extremely harsh or vague. And that determines how you establish a relationship, because from young is when you establish this from. So if you come from a household of abuse, drug, violence, poverty, let's say poverty, your relationship status with yourself is a coin toss. Most of us distance ourselves because of the traumas and because of the things we deal with. Most of us get into other relationships because that's what we value more than ourselves. And we put those things before us or pretend. Let's just face it, we have a lot of pretenders. We have a lot of people who've been in relationships for a long time, and all the time they was lusting and not loving. Let's not deny ourselves the truth. I can tell you from now, it took me a long time to understand what's my worth and what my value is, because everybody I had around me, I have put unrealistic expectations and put them in places in my life that did not fit them, but they was there because I put them there. And then I'm disappointed constantly because I thought I deserved to do that or be that mindset, because somehow that's supposed to be humbling or, keep you grounded or at least I have someone kind of mentality. Well, we all know that's bullshit. You avoided yourself. You knew what you needed. You knew what wasn't working for you, but you stayed there because you assumed that that's what you are worth. It boils down to being worth. I mean, there's more complications with it. There's more details to go with it. But to be truthful, to be honest, I think a lot of times most of us do this because we think we deserve it. I know I did it many years because, of my abandonment issues and my lack thereof, right? It's not something I wore on my sleeve, but, I got into relationships with people that wasn't even for me. But because it's there and I'm, quote unquote, not alone, it serves some type of purpose, but it wasn't the purpose. I got some type of gratitude, but it wasn't satisfaction. It wasn't true pleasure or love. It was lust at its finest and at its worst. As men, we we absorb this lesson harsh only because we are taught not to express or not to show this type of emotion. And it is not often improved for us to display what we don't like. We get into a relationship like it's a trophy to win. We have a mantle, we dust it off, we polish it every so often, and we're trying to move on to the next thing. But reality, no. Reality is that a lot of the stuff in relationships is based on who you hold as high regard. And the rule of thumb is relationship 101. The rule of thumb is that you must hold yourself to the highest regard before entering or being in any kind of relationship with anyone else. You understand? Because of how the world is, especially nowadays, family, friends, foes, it's life or death. It's a life of misery if you do not do such things. If you do not protect you, your emotional state of being, your mental state of being, as well as your physical, all are detrimental. There's no more veiled or denied or illusion of that. Rights must be given. Men, sons, fathers, whatever you want to be titled, have the right to express themselves and be in a relationship that celebrates them, that celebrates their life, that celebrates their well-being. I'm not talking about the ignorant shit. I'm talking about life. I'm talking about you being involved and happy, to be content and fulfilled, to be amongst people that all they do is uplift you, not drag you down, not stifle you or stagnate you to stay in one position so you don't overcome or rise up. I'm talking about people who recognize your light and see your light and add fuel to it, if anything, but never trying to dim it. Out your light. Never be that self-centered individual and say, well, I saw your potential, but, I didn't want you to surpass me because I didn't want to be by myself, which is bullshit because you put that person in that position. Whether you realize it or not, whether you want to admit it or not, we often put people in such high regards in our lives, and all they do is shit on us and let us down. And we still go by because they might say sorry, or they might give you the notion that, hey, you're valuable. Yeah, you're valuable as long as I'm getting. You're valuable as long as I am getting. And it's not always because I'm satisfied with what I'm getting. It's just that I'm satisfied of you being in this level to being, beneath me, nothing equal to me. We have to be careful of the relationship that we put around us. The relationship that we have around us, it can be toxic, very toxic. I'm not even getting to the abuse aspect of it or the mental aspect of it. I'm talking about toxic that they draw and they dim down your light. And I'm not going to blame them 100% because if I just, again, you had a sense of what this individual is and you put them there because you didn't want to be alone. At least you felt like you're alone. And you're around someone when all they do is take from you. What about those who get let down, that their guardians did not teach them or love them enough or instill in them the nurturing ability to feel comfortable with themselves? For those of you who feel this, I know you understand what I'm talking about. For those of you who might not know or naive to this, some of us are born in relationships that we cannot help. Most of us are. And the value of yourself starts when you are young, because whatever is instilled in you when you're young, that's what you value. Even if it's painful, even if it's trauma, you value that because you walk and look for that similarity. You walk and look for that normal or that norm in your life. So if you was a young daughter and I didn't instill in you the qualities and what a man look for in a young woman, or instill in you the worth of your youth and the love that is dedicated and is rightfully yours, then this won't mean nothing to you. This relationships won't mean a damn thing to you. Your body and temple and your mind won't be nothing to you because I didn't instill or reiterate the value of you. You grow up thinking that you're not worthy or worth much of anything. And if you do, it's much less a cover up because you want to mimic someone else. You see someone else, or you say, you know what, I'm going to do it because my friend did this and they seem to be okay and they're going just fine. But understanding that's not how that works. You're going to need to pretend, but so long. But so long you can pretend. But so long you can make a life filled with illusions and lies. It always come, break down, and it always crumble down on you and hurt the ones you truly do love but don't know how to treat. Now, understand this come with a grain of salt because understand there's more complexity with this. There's more to this than simply just only just a value. You have respect. You have compound or compromising sense of self-worth and integrity. I mean, these things that go with it. You have integrity, self-worth. You have, the essence and central relationship you have with the Creator. That every day and every moment is a gratitude, because it always could be worse. It always can be worse. Even at your worst, it could be worse. That is a given. Let's just get that out of the way. That's a given. Even at your worst, it's always going to be worse. So gratitude and respect is always due. Relationship one-on-one, I would say to everyone, acknowledge the fact that you have value and that you're worthy of someone, but it starts with you. It starts with you. My men, I say this especially because we have too many times that we in relationships and we sit here and we blame our broken spirits for the bullshit that we do and then the bullshit that we get into. You are a grown man. Take responsibility. Accept your consequence, because you was in the Honey Lewis, and now accept the amen. Accept the fact that when you are doing the works and you're doing your demon activities, that consequences will follow. Also, consequences follow when you're doing good things, but the consequences versus good or bad, it varies in the works which you are dealing with. So you have to be very mindful about how you go about doing things, because there's nothing worse than putting yourself in a position that you cannot articulate, explain, or have no ties to it. It just happened, and then you're in the mix, and then everything else happened to you. The sadness, the depression, the whole nine. The fact is, we men do go through grieving process and emotions and depression, especially when it comes to, breakup and stuff. We would just express it differently. We don't express it the same way as our counterparts, the women, the mothers of our lives, the daughters of our lives, the sisters of our lives. We do not express it the same way. Some of us are destructive, verbally destructive, someone physical. Others are self-destructive as well as physical. And some are outright disrespectful. They really cannot take a rejection. They cannot take criticism. They cannot take anything else because they do not have a relationship with themselves, much less the Creator. So there's no value to them. It doesn't matter. It's pretty much all or nothing. When you're dealing with someone, and the men, I say this, when you're dealing with anyone and you do not value you, respect you, that is not a relationship to be into. If they don't have a relationship with the Creator, whatever name they want to be called, whatever thing they want to be called, and they have no respect for even the Creator, much less their lives, that's not a relationship you want to be into, unless you're prepared to deal with whatever comes with it, whatever foolishness that manifests with that type of relationship. Stop dealing with the woman and the people in your life just because of clarity and clout. Have that relationship with yourself that you know that whatever you do and whatever you get into is going to be of your liking, of what you want. A lot of times we get into the trend of what that means. Half of us don't even know how to show respect. We think respect is all about the toughest and the biggest, or the manliest. Get into a relationship that deals with respect, and love will follow.
If you've been thinking about starting a podcast and you want to include interviews with people across town, Riverside.fm offers unbelievable high-quality recordings regardless of your or your guest internet quality. And it also gives you separate audio and video tracks for each person speaking. And unlike Zoom, you don't have to install anything on your computer, and your guests don't either. Head over to Riverside.fm and use promo code JazzCast to get 60 free minutes of recording and 15% off a membership plan. The link is in the show notes.
Because I said this before, there's no man on earth that love a woman that simply just love him. But if she respects him and give him that respect, the love is unconditional. The love is unconditional. I'm not talking about being stupid. I'm talking about respecting the individual, respecting him to what he means to you or what the next person means to you. And I say men because it's a little more greater in men. But however, the same applies with women. The same applies with women. Although they love greater, they are stronger. Let's face it, they are stronger when it comes to that love. But if you can show me respect and admiration, you can show me respect, love follows in everything with it. You have my ear, heart, you have my mind. But if you cannot respect me, and I'm not talking about only recklessness in the mouth and recklessness with the tongue and recklessness with the behavior. I'm talking about respect the fact that you're my partner. Respect the fact that you are my anchor. You are supposed to be my peace to the world, my salvation. And if all you can do is give me headache, stress, depression, anger, and just all right trouble, in one hand, I deserve it because I choose to stay there. There's always a choice. There's always a way out. But I choose to stay there. On the other hand, it is not right because I have rights to be happy. I have rights to be who I want to be. I don't want to ought to be. A lot of times as men, again, we tend to think our emotions versus feel them. And it's just something we taught. There's many fashions on how to go about doing that, but it's how we taught. I think I like you. Let me think about it. I gotta see what I gotta see what you have to offer me, what is there, for me. And most men, because they're perverted, they only think about the sexual content. They don't think about the building, the mental, the spiritual, the embodiment. It's all about the physical. They want the physical. But let me bust that bubble. Let me help bust that bubble. Woman does not offer pleasure. It is not the pleasure that they offer, but is the manifest of you and she joining union, creating another life, building on another life, watching that grow, watching that child grow and you instill and help develop and create this life to manifest in front of you, growing before you. That's true pleasure. That's a relationship worth having because you're getting something out of it in return. And at the same time, you're witnessing your future, your works, the creator in the divine, and the love you two share in this process. But if it's all about the slapping skins and joking and jiving, well, that's not pleasure. There's some form of gratification, yes, but it doesn't last. It doesn't last. If anything, it binds you. It emotionally binds you because now when you do find someone who actually has an interest or value in you, you don't know how to deal with it because your relationship and your worthiness and value in relationships and all the things you do and you never learn comes back and you don't know how to deal with this. So now you do is you screw up what you might and what could have been something great for you. So all that whoring, all that joking, all that jabbing and putting that trophy on and that utility belt that you have so many, here's the end result of this. You will never be happy. You will never be fulfilled. And if you do appropriate and you do have more than one, you just create your own misery because you don't like yourself. So the things that's going to happen is that your child is going to remind you of that. Your child, the woman you're with, the company you keep, all of them is going to remind you of your own unhappiness. So be truthful with yourself. Love yourself, know yourself, and understand, knowing yourself always changes. You're not going to stay the same. You're not going to stay the same. I have come to, out of my 47 years of living, I have come to tuition that usually I'm going to say 7 moon cycles here, that, I come to a change or a revelation in my life, and it's part of growth. It's part of life. And the things I might have once loved, I have a different view of it. I don't hate them, but I no longer need it or value it because I grew it. I can outgrow it. I want you to know this. You can outgrow something, but it doesn't mean you outlove it. I can love you enough and say that, this is enough for me. I'm good at where we at right now. But I know it's going to change, so I can prepare for that. And the change is not, we don't go backwards. No, it just means that I will end up loving or having a different type of relationship with this individual on a different plane, on a different level. My point is, if you cannot be in a relationship and it does not graduate, it does not escalate, it does not progress, then what's the sense? What is the purpose? What is the reasoning that we are together? A lot of us don't ask this. COVID has shown a great deal of a lot of people who do not like themselves, much less the people they're with. And this is besides the dying part. How many domestic violence, suicides, and just straight out homicide has taken place? I know we like to keep up with the same propaganda with the, oh, it's the gangs or the, oh, this kid is bad. No, there's a lot of people who do not like themselves. And to be trapped. Remember, we was on what, lockdown for 18 or 2 years. And if you don't like yourself, that's eternity. Everything is a problem. Your nail too long, you have too much makeup, or your clothes too tight. I don't like your body, you smell funny. I mean, there's many reasons you would come up with why you don't like the individual, much less yourself. And these are people you've been around all the time. You know, my daddy used to say, knowing a person and living with a person is two different things. Because after you live with me, around me, smell me, you would know who I be.
Hey, if you're enjoying this episode, check out the Healthy Illness Podcast with me, Kelly Marie, as we build healthy relationships while living with mental health conditions. I'm diagnosed and live with borderline personality disorder, major depression, and generalized anxiety. And despite those diagnoses, I've been able to live a full life. I have healthy relationships, a great career, and my mission is to help you do the same. So join me for Healthy Illness Podcast. New episodes every Monday on the JazzCast Pros Network, found on the podcast player you're listening to right now. Be the light.
If I just know you, I don't know you or know you behind closed doors. So I kind of get that aspect of it. But of course, mental health plays this part. Emotional traumas, and I mean, you name it. All these things play this part. This is why it's important. If you didn't have it now, didn't know it before, it's important that you love yourself. And love yourself means you get to know you. Know your dislikes, know your triggers, know your self-worth. Don't put yourself in positions or around people that all they're going to do is shit on you, put you down. That's the worst thing you can do for your self-esteem, your well-being. Be amongst those who love you. Stop conforming and restricting yourself to just a certain group, a certain people, a certain color, whatever it may be. Go amongst and be amongst those who love you, who celebrate your life and well-being. And because I love myself and I have no boundaries, I can go anywhere in the world and I'm happy because I'm around people that love me, celebrate my life, my health, my well-being. I say this to you, fathers, because emotional and mental health is important. And it all based off the relationship of which you build and create and attach yourself to. But if you're not centered, all of this means nothing. And you're just going to continue to live in an unhappy settlement and thinking, walking, and living. That is not fun. Nor is it productive, and nor is it worth it. It's 2023. It's time we start uplifting ourselves and start thinking about our well-being. Because I think about the people we create, or I should say, involve with, who we intercept and involve in our life. A friend is someone who graduates from out of the friendship zone or friend zone into family. Create your family. And I ain't talking about the ones you're born into. But create your family, create your circle. But first, and I urge you, first, please, have a relationship with yourself. Have that time to do all that you can do for you and be all you can be, again, for you. Value you. Value what you can bring, what you can live, how you must live, so you can be happy. Because no one can bring happiness to you. No one can make you happier. Because the only thing you can do is add to your happiness or to your sadness. And let's be real. It's not every day a sunny day. So it's good to have this pocket of energy and positivity and circle to uplift you when you're down. Not if you're down, when you are down. My people, listen carefully and listen good. Relationship is a sensitive topic for most of us. It is important for us to acknowledge and that the building and maintaining relationships can be difficult. It can be difficult, people. However, you must prioritize a healthy relationship with yourself first before pursuing anything else, do me a favor. Take the time, value your own needs. Take the time, my brothers, to value your own needs. I say this again, value your own needs. And ultimately, the benefits of being in a relationship with yourself, much less anyone else, should be start point, whatever you want to call it. Just it should be your beginning. Be honest and open with yourself. Be utterly truthful. Only you know what you like and love. Some things you grew to, some things you was born with. It's still up to you how you want to manifest that. And most of all, have confidence and clarity. I should say that comes with that kind of, meditation or self-taught or listening. You'll be more confident in yourself. You have more clarity and understanding of how things work around you in your universe. Right? So let's not fake the funk with that. And then on top of that, it's something you have to do daily. You have to what's the word? You have to maintain and trust the process. I want you to acknowledge that. Maintain and trust the process of having a relationship with yourself. It's not a good thing to walk up and down and have, attitude because you don't know how to take care of your business, right? Trust the process. Have confidence in your abilities and all that you can do. Be wise and be mindful of others. But of course, yourself first. Don't be amongst things or people that they don't celebrate you or love you, right? Go where you're loved. Go who do celebrate your life and well-being, who want you genuinely to be the most you can be. That's my segment today. That's my thinking and my thoughts and my view. Please leave a message and anything and all you can do. And speaking about this topic of relationship, you can find me any platform from Apple to Spotify, iHeartRadio, you name it, fathatorch.com. Please leave a message, leave a comment, leave anything you might come to mind about this subject about relationship, and that this is just a one part of this. There's more coming with this and some guests, because I don't want you to feel that this is a biased conversation or my personal biases of what I think a relationship it is. So I want you to listen and listen keenly about having a relationship with you. And this topic right now is about having a relationship with yourself, with you and all that you do. Don't make anyone tell you differently, and don't get in a relationship that you are being dictated to. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. My segment is done. I thank you for being here. And let me shout out to my sponsors, Creative Pizza, 766 Monroe Avenue. You can't miss it, across the street from Speedway. The best casual personal pizza you can ever have. The dough is not soggy, the homemade sauce, the sexy cheese. Oh, the people then when they know what I love. The vegan meatballs. Go today. Ask for a Fatha Torch special. Get some good food for a good price. Okay? Experience it for yourself. 766 Monroe Avenue. Large up and big up to Creative Pizza. To all who wants to be involved and all who wants to know more about Fatha Torch, please leave a message and I will get back to you.